Attorney review and how to successfully go through it. Welcome back to my channel where I provide tips and tricks on how to successfully navigate your real estate journey in the city we call Chicago. Today, we're going to talk about the attorney review process and how to successfully go through it. Let's jump right in. Before we begin, let me clarify what the attorney review process is. Because Illinois is an attorney state, each party in a real estate transaction has an attorney who represents their interests and leads the transaction to a successful closing. So once we go into contract, if you're on a buy side, you will have about 5 business days for your attorney to review the contract, propose any changes, and come to a mutual agreement. So basically, attorney review process is the second step of negotiating the contract. Depending on the situation and the market in which you're buying, I mean the conditions on the market, how fast things are moving, how much leverage you as a buyer have, etc. Depending on these factors, the attorney review process will look a little bit different. So let's talk about how to successfully go through it. Step number 1 is to find a good, experienced real estate attorney. I'll mention this right away. When you're working with a good, knowledgeable real estate agent, they will have preferred partners, attorneys, inspectors, lenders, etc., who they will refer you to. We're referring our clients to our preferred partners not because we're getting something out of it, but because we know that they will do a good job for our clients. I do sometimes get people ask me, oh, can my uncle represent me? He's a family law attorney. If the question is, can he represent you? Yes, if he's a licensed attorney in Illinois. But should he represent you? That's a different question. I would say if your uncle, a family member, or a friend does not really have real estate law experience, if this is the first time they're going to do it, please use an attorney who is actually experienced in this field. Again, depending on the market conditions, it might be crucial to have an attorney who knows what they're doing and who can act fast. Once you go into contract, according to it, you will have 5 business days for the attorney review period. Oftentimes, the attorney review period gets extended to maybe 7 business days and more than that even. So what happens during the 5 business days? The attorney or the attorney's team is working to prepare what is called an attorney review letter. It is a letter where the attorney will propose modifications to the contract. The goal of these modifications is to give you additional protections or to maybe finalize some of the provisions of the contract. For instance, one of the most common provision of the contract that gets finalized during the attorney review process is the tax prorations. Sometimes we're not sure how to best prorate taxes, so we might say TBD for attorneys to decide. I have been asked by buyers previously, can we send the offer to an attorney before we submit it to the seller's agent? My answer is typically no, not because we can't, but because it's unnecessary, because you have this attorney review process for the attorney to review everything to make sure that everything is done in a legal way and you're protected. In Chicago, we all use like one of the 2 prepared contracts. It's either 7.0 or Chicago Association of Realtors condo purchase contract. It's a pre-written document, everybody uses them. So it's not like there will be some provisions there that will put you in a bad position. Actually, as a real estate agent, we're not allowed to make any changes to the contract. We cannot strike anything through, we cannot add any language, only licensed attorney is allowed to do that. So don't worry about having to review the contract prior to actually submitting an offer. With that being said, I think it's very important for you to keep a close contact with an attorney because most likely it is your first transaction or maybe your second transaction, maybe you have not transacted in a while. It's important for you to keep in touch with the attorney and actually give them a call and ask to go over the contract. So make sure you understand everything that you agree to do, because during the first 5 business days that we are in this attorney review period, the attorneys have the right to cancel the contract for basically whatever reason. So if there's something that you see is not in your favor, they can either try to renegotiate these terms or they can cancel the contract so you're not losing your earnest money and you can exit it and go search for another property which will maybe be a better fit for you. So again, it's crucial to read and understand every clause of the contract, so don't hesitate to ask your attorney questions. At the end of the day, this is why you hired an attorney and this is why you're paying them. When the attorney review letter gets submitted, there's a part of it that is called inspection requests. Sometimes if we did not waive the inspection or if we did not agree to take the property in as-is condition, we can ask for certain credits or repairs that will be included in the attorney review letter. So it is truly a second chance for you to negotiate this contract. Perhaps get some money from the seller to fix a few things that were discovered during the inspection, or maybe just ask additional questions. If the inspector pointed something out to you and you just want to know more information about it, that's where you can ask the seller to also provide you more information so you can feel absolutely confident going into the transaction. Finalizing the contract will be the last stage of the attorney review period. So once both parties have agreed on everything, so we sent our attorney review letter to the other side, they proposed some modifications, got it back to us, maybe we decided to counteroffer and ask for some things again, and finally we reached an agreement. We have a fully binding contract. Congratulations, that means you're out of the attorney review period and we're ready to move on with the transaction. I'm gonna give you one last tip. When you are out of the attorney review process, don't hesitate to still reach out to your attorney if you have any questions. I oftentimes get asked a lot of questions by my clients. I'm happy to answer them, but there are some questions that I just cannot answer. Questions that are legal questions, maybe something that has to do with like property taxes. So if I'm kindly asking you to reach out to the attorney, it's not because I don't want to answer your question, that's because I'm not equipped to give you the full answer that will help you make the right decision. And there you have it, the attorney review process for buying a residential property in Chicago. Remember, hiring an experienced attorney, reviewing the contract diligently, and maintaining the communication throughout the whole transaction are the keys to successfully navigating your real estate purchase.